words outward.
I've been learning a song. I've been wanting to sing this song and learn how to play it and sing it. And, you know, it's one that probably a lot of you will know, or at least you'll know a little bit of it. And last time we had a whole lot of young people here. Remember that? We had like 10 younger people. They're not here tonight, so I'm imagining most of you are going to know this song. We're young. Yeah, we are. So this is a song by Jackie DeShannon. It came out in the mid-'60s sometime. And I really want you to sing with me. That's an important way for me to always feel about how people come together. I grew up with the Pete Seeger thing where you just go like this and everybody sings along, you know. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart. Now this has got a little echo part you could do. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart, everybody. Put a little love in your heart, everywhere. Put a little love in your heart. Thank you for singing. That makes all the diff. Isn't that a great song? It's got great lyrics, you know. So thank you for singing along. Karen Miller, there you are. That prank we don't get. Can I get past the puppy?
Okay, so this is going to be one of those 5 minutes plus. And this is not exactly community, but it's called A Christmas Comeuppance. Timely, right? An homage to Dylan Thomas and Dr. Seuss. Karen, can you come a little closer? How's this? Okay. This is called A Christmas Comeuppance, an homage to Dylan Thomas and Dr. Seuss. In the course of one mealy afternoon, where the cat lays crinkled before a grated fire, one eye fast asleep while scratching tongue to fur, the other suspicious and quick to leap, where leftover goose lays its long, tasty neck upon yet another table, and all smells of rich white snow in a basket of chestnut pudding. As the story goes, if a story it be at all, Mother returns to the kitchen, checking the goose's golden egg in an oven hot with holly and wine. Someone in another room picks up a fiddle. Stiff-legged music fills the air as young and old begin to sway, along with the humming of spiked honey and rum, golden yams bubbling away in a 3-legged cast-iron pot. "There's help for the table," she announces. Out they rush, grandmothers and uncles, cousins and grandfathers, children and twins, one by one, two by two, toting platters high above their heads, carting silver tureens and butterball dishes, hand-carved wooden bowls, cups and saucers and glasses galore, sharpened knives and glistening forks. And the twins, Luella and Greeley, jostling and tripping over one another, squirting water balloons to see who gets to carry Grandma's best linens without falling headfirst into the gravy. Each element surrounds its best chair, scraping pieces of cranberry beneath the wide-angled, handsomely appointed, brimming to the full table, while they scrabble to find their seats. With Father's drooping whiskers tucked in two impeccable twirls, he heaves his great belly over the jelly mold and bows his pious head. "Ah, my fine feathers, let us fork with the best of them. Faith be upon thy table." And with a hurried flourish, aunts and uncles, mothers and grandfathers, children and twins lick their spoons and plates in rapid succession. The wishbone, being recently retrieved and wiped clean, has been set aside to avoid any squabbles from the twins, who have long contested who deserves the longest half and who gets the wish. Luella, the pushier, older one by a matter of 2 3/4 minutes, and Greeley, having nary a distinctive characteristic of neither face nor personality, look one and the same, but for their still forming, clumsily budding sexes. There they go, scrambling beneath the tablecloth under everyone's feet, sneaking candied yams and scalloped potatoes by the sticky fistful to rub against one another under the smiling, nodding, rheumatic gaze of those great and noble aunts. So, too, the elderberry, eiderberry, dimpleberry wines, reserved for just the occasion, served by those same sweet doddering aunts, now generously handed round to the 4 or 5 barely supportable uncles, who wax philosophic while dribbling into their snifters, making healthy toasts to the favored and sloppy good riddance to the rest. Robust cheeks, or what is left of them, well, jowls really, fail to prop up those sagging, bloated lips. Here or there sits a bulbous nose, bright red turning heart-stopping purple, as hands mightily, fingers gingerly, feign the detail of some exhausted notion. As the discussion, such as it is, dwindles over hastily imbibed drinks, their heads begin to nod and spill onto the table as saintly snores rise high in the air. No such slouching for the goodly women who have cleaned and prepped and cooked and slaved, polished and dusted and done what they could, now commence to clear the table, wash the dishes, sweep the floor, clean the pots and pans and linoleum to their utter and thank God that's over relief. The children, numbed and bored and ready for something else, are herded out of sight and into the library, all except the twins, having fallen ill with sorely distended stomachs and a slight fever, are half dragged, half carried up to bed. Mother, of course, takes her lightning-quick nap at the foot of the stairs in case anyone should have a need. Keen to the slightest stirrings, she makes her comforting way, one sturdy brown pump at a time, up by the landing and into the room of the twins. A cool, soothing hand placed on one burning forehead, then the other. Mother shushes their fitful sleep as each fights for the wishbone in their dreams, kicking behind furious eyelids. She tucks them in, pulling blankets up to their soft, sticky chins, then steps back to contemplate the very nature of life.
So we've had a phenomenon around our home. My dog, I can't pull out the guitar without him coming and singing with us. So I'd like to introduce Archie and my wife, Christiana. So I wrote this duet for Archie and I. And Archie has requested that on the chorus of the fourth verse, at least sing along on the chorus with us. See, he's ready. He's all set to go here.
Jimmy, could you?
Oh, we're getting the photographer out?
Yeah.
You ready, Art? You going to sing for us? Okay. All right. I woke up in the morning and opened up my eyes. My dog was staring right at me. It was a great surprise. He thumped his paws upon my chest and soon began to sing. So quickly did I join him and began yodeling, singing yo-dee, 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 singing yo-dee, yodeling, yo-dee. It was such a pleasure to hear him burst out so. I wanted to continue, and admiring I did grow. He stared once more into my face and took a right deep breath. And soon we began again and sang a sweet duet, singing yo-dee, 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 singing yo-dee, yo-dee, yo-dee. The window being open, the neighbors gathered round to find out where the song had come and wondered at the sound. They marveled at the harmony and began to sing along, and soon the whole darn village was dancing to the song, singing yo-dee, 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 singing yodeloo-dee, yodeloo-dee, yo-dee. So if you might be wondering, if you think that I've gone mad to hear what really happened and all the fun we had, well, maybe you need to listen outside my bedroom door some morning when we wake up and sing it all the more, singing yo-dee, 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 singing yodeloo-dee, yo-dee, yo-dee, singing yo-dee, yodeloo-dee, yo-dee, singing yodeloo-dee, yodeloo-dee, yo-dee. Thank you. Hey, Archie. There you go. Thank you.
Since I always screw up the mics, how am I doing? Oh, God, it won't last. Trust me, I'll back up. All right. So, community, the prompt. When mystified by the prompt, I start with the OED. Communism, communion, communitarian are the words immediately preceding community on the list. Today I'm most interested in communitarian. Communitarian is a member of a community which had or has been formed to put into practice communistic or socialistic theories of joint human behavior. Joint belief or joint action can be key elements of community. Community by its nature excludes as well as includes. Generally, a community is built using current, shared, or perceived beliefs of importance to the individuals involved. The United States is built with conflicting communities, but each community is firm in its boundaries, which are a given and important sources of strength. Shared beliefs are the alphabet of building communities. The shared beliefs are what attract new members to the groups. The rules of each community, either written or inferred, demonstrate how easy it is to join the community and how easy it is to leave the community should the individual's beliefs change. A key difference between a community and a cult is whether or not an individual can change allegiance to a different set of beliefs. In the Amish communities, if a person decides to leave and join the English, as they call us, that departing individual is permanently shunned by the community, but departures are allowed. Jim Jones and the settlement in Guyana, the People's Temple, went beyond community and became a cult. 909 commune members died. When commanded, all drank the Kool-Aid. Members of that community could not escape and were held in boundaries and in the belief that they were living the right way, in right relationship with the God of Jim Jones' understanding. That's a cult. Community is a peculiar word. It has baggage. I have a cousin who was very involved in and lived in Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona. This community started as a dream, an outgrowth of Buckminster Fuller's spaceship Earth ideas. The biosphere was a physically closed or sealed ecological community built at 4,000 feet in Arizona. The first round, occupied from September 26, 1991 to September 26, 1993, was in an enormous sealed building. The occupants were living and testing how to sustain life for 2 years in this place. The reason to do this was to be able to survive nuclear or environmental disaster, and another goal was to colonize Mars. This original occupancy was made up of 8 inhabitants. By the beginning of the year 2, the occupants had divided into 2 contentious, spiteful camps. Food, air quality, oxygen percentages fluctuated. There were many surprises about pests, pollinators, soil, water, and CO2 buildup, but the occupancy went full term. The second mission started in March of 1994. In April of 1994, there was a severe dispute in the management team. People were ousted. Federal marshals were called in. The chief financier hired Steve Bannon from Beverly Hills. Much drama ensued. Some of the team members from the 91 to 93 experiment performed a commando escapade in the night of April 5th, 1994. They opened the doors, broke panes of glass, all to save the lives of the occupants. Legal action ensued, financial institutions changed, and the mission ended September 6, 1994, 6 months into the 2 years of the second experiment. Where is community in this? Shared beliefs? Isolation? Information and misinformation were given equal weight and passion. Drama? High temper? Impulse? Fear? But Biosphere 2 was founded as a group of people bonding over and working with common goals. In this instance, the common goal was colonizing other planets, with Mars being the closest planet for this closed, ecologically sustaining structure, or so they thought. But now, here and now, February 4, 2025, the idea that financier banker Steve Bannon was involved in planning for colonization of Mars in 1994 takes on a new twist for me. Communities held together by beliefs can be thoughtful, helpful, spiritually sound groups. Communities can also become exclusionary and dangerous. And financiers can make profits within these belief systems. Greed has weight. Greed gains momentum. Be watchful.
I'm small. I'm just small. Okay, this is an IWOW first for me. This is one of my favorite Leonard Cohen songs. It's not Hallelujah. Oh, the sisters of mercy, they are not departed or gone. They were waiting for me when I thought that I just can't go on. They brought me their comfort and later they brought me this song. I hope you run into them, you who've been traveling so long. Yes, you who must leave everything that you cannot control. It starts with your family, and then it comes round to your soul. Well, I've been where you're hanging, I think I can see where you're pinned. When you're not feeling holy, your loneliness says that you've sinned. Well, I lay down beside them, I made my confession to them. They touched both my eyes, and I touched the dew of their hem. If your life is a leaf that the seasons tear off and condemn, they will bind you with love that is graceful and green as a stem. When I left they were sleeping, I hope you run into them soon. Don't turn on the lights, you can read their dress by the moon. And it won't make me jealous if I hear that they've sweetened your night. We weren't lovers like that, and besides, it would still be all right. We weren't lovers like that, and besides, it would still be all right. Thank you.
Kim Kaufman, everybody.
Okay, can you hear me? No? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So I always wear polka dots thinking about Deb and stripes. So I am a body worker, body mind centering practitioner, and I always think about the community of cells that we all are, that our cells themselves make communities that become organs, that become systems, that we all belong to one cell, and we're all each individuated cells in the metaphor of life. And so I'm reading you some poems about organs and the community that lives within us. The first one is called Pancreas. Dear lobulate and salmon-colored gland, living in close quarters, the tapered tail, tickling spleen, a horizontal diagonal from middle to left, a football diagram, an odd-shaped piece of corn, a flattened pear shape, your head bent back in a J-hook. I want to go on vacation to the islets of Langerhans, hang out in cells, clusters like pods of intelligent beanbags. I want to take a day trip to the sphincter of Oddi to see the spouting juices. As endocrine conductor, you tell me what to do. Make more, make less. Life is sweet with you and changeable. I may faint and languish without you in command. You live tucked behind the peritoneum, nestled in the C-curve of your duodenum, sandwiched between stomach and spine. You have it all, enzymes to give me nourishment, and I to do your bidding. All right, next one is called Belly Talk. Here under my hand, on the soft swell of belly under skin, talking without tongues, fluid weight travels in a slow flow of feeling. I roll wide inside the room of my body, spilling my edges, the smooth curve inside pelvis, a forgotten space where soft parts nestle and pull, wend their way in the terrarium of my being. Lush with wet warmth, intestines wiggle and roll without my control. Nutrients rush membranes, drawn away, drawn together, moving forward. Sensing, discerning, the long turning tube follows its own trail, slides to the very end. And this next one is about the organ of the heart. borne along by the beating. Like a leaf in a stream, I am swept on a sluice in the vessels to heart, to and fro on a path to the center of matter, the clatter, the beat. I skip through the valves as they press towards home, and I yearn in this float through the long winding route to find my way back to the chest, to the heart, to this lump full of energy beating and pumping, out again, in again, all the way home again. Rhythm of blood as it moves into spaces and leaves behind traces in life-giving places. Out is for giving, for bringing of nourishment. In for releasing, renewal and gathering. In a slow rush, the pulse of this life finds the push to go out, to come in, to pause, and then to go out again. One of my communities is the circle dance community, sacred circle dancing, which is both ancient and modern. And I started circle dancing when I was 21. And I wrote this poem in the 80s. And it has had at least 20 revisions, if not many more. And this is where it is now. And it's really it's a chant about circle dancing. It's called Round. Sings from sea and sings from shell, whirl on whirl we spin and spin, mother of pearl beneath the moon, hands held, heart beats, moon's rhythm, drums our dance, whirl on whirl around in rings. We loose our voices on the tide and return in rippling dance, mother of pearl, water walkway. Our voices join the call and cry of root bud, water tide. Whirl on whirl we find the steps, stone claw, toothed tail. Mother of pearl in our mouths, in our limbs and on our tongues, swells the tide of our round circle. Whirl on whirl we spin the song as whirling bodies find the path, head to tail, palm to palm. Mother of pearl, the rising moon. Arms round waist, feet to earth, pink lips wet from the dance. Whirl on whirl we round the floor, pulled along by wild sung tales. We trace the tidal patterned circle. Whirl on whirl, mother of pearl.
Well, listen up, pilgrims, and listen tight. That's all I got. That was it. Thanks. Pardon me? I broke my hand slipping on the ice. Thank God I didn't trip here. It would have been really embarrassing. I wasn't planning on talking or saying anything tonight, so if it doesn't go well, blame it on Jeannie. It's her fault. So I was in a film about back in my acting days, which is way, way back, like 45 years ago. I was in a film called The Final Countdown. The Final Countdown. But it didn't have anything to do with a song. It was a movie about an aircraft carrier that goes back in time to the day before Pearl Harbor. And it had a wonderful cast of actors. Catherine Ross and Charles Durning and Martin Sheen was in it right after he did Apocalypse Now, and he had a million stories to tell about Marlon Brando and how he ate their whole dinner one night when they weren't looking, which is another story maybe I'll tell sometime. And there was another guy in there too. I can't remember his name. Kirk Douglas. Yeah, Kirk Douglas. Of course, everybody knows him. And Kirk was the producer of the show. His son, Peter Douglas, who looked about as much like Kirk as I do the Eiffel Tower, tall and skinny and very pale. And Kirk was about this tall, maybe that tall, but perfectly proportioned and really had a great physique. And he was 65 years old when we were doing the show. But he was producing the show, so even though there was a different director, everybody kind of knew who the boss was. Plus, he was playing the captain of the Nimitz, the USS Nimitz. So Peter had been the first producer in Hollywood to ever be successful at having a film shot on a nuclear aircraft carrier, I think, nuclear ship of any kind. Very secretive. They didn't want to have any risk with actors running around and starting a Holocaust or something. So that was a real kudo on his part. So the very first day of shooting, the very first scene of the movie is on the bridge of the Nimitz in Norfolk, Virginia, a big Navy base. And the very first two actors to act in the film were Kirk and me. And I was really nervous, as you can imagine, because nobody knew each other in the cast. Everybody was kind of, tight. What's it going to be like? Are there going to be any clashes of egos and stuff? And so I walked onto the bridge there, and I was supposed to take my place next to Kirk. He's sitting in his chair. And his wife happens to be there watching while they're setting things up. And she says, "Oh, you look like you could be one of Kirk's sons." I said, "Well, thank you very much." And she just kind of looked at me. She didn't get that I was trying to do a Kirk Douglas impersonation. Didn't do very well. So I went up and we did the scene, and just as the director, Don Taylor, was about to say, "Okay, we're going to lay one down here," Kirk turns to him and says, "Don, I think this ought to be a close-up of me." And I'm standing next to him. He had set it up as a two-shot with Kirk and me starting the scene. And Kirk said, no, he just wants a close-up of himself. Director said, "Well, Don, no, I really want to do this as a two-shot with you and, what's your name again? Jim. Yeah, you and Jimmy here." I said, "Well, Don, I'm the captain of the ship, and I really think it ought to be a close-up of me." So Don, was about a foot taller than Kirk, said, "No, Kirk, I think we're going to do it as a two-shot, and let's get rolling here. Let's get the boards in here." And Kirk just said, "Okay." So the entire set, everybody was frozen. Nobody wanted to say a thing. They're all kind of looking everywhere but where they should be looking. But we went ahead and did the scene, and it worked out okay. And that was my introduction to film acting in that part. And then a few days later, I'd gotten to know Martin Sheen because he'd had a heart attack on Apocalypse Now. And so he was working his way back into shape. So he'd go running every day for 4 miles. So he and I and a few other guys, we'd go out and run through the golf course and stuff, got to know each other. He was a big baseball fan, really terrific guy. And one night we were all going down to dinner in the Hotel Omni in Norfolk. And we're all laughing and scratching, and somebody said, "Hey, do an impersonation of Kirk." I said, "I don't do a good impersonation of Kirk." He said, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." I said, "Okay." So I said, "You can't stop men who want to be free." And the door opens just as I said, "Be free." And guess who's standing there? Kirk Douglas and his wife. Everybody just freezes. Nobody says a thing. Kirk looks at us, takes a dramatic pause. He says, "I'll take the next one." The doors close. Everybody bursts out laughing. And and that was the end of my experience with... I actually was pretty lucky. I got to do... I think there's 8 weeks total on the shoot. I had a co-star listing or billing, but they cut most of my part out. So mostly it was, "Captain's on the bridge. Captain's off the bridge." But I got 8 weeks pay, which is really great. Yeah, really great. And it was a pretty good movie. Anybody ever seen it by any chance? You've seen it. Yeah. The Final Countdown. Yeah. Kirk Douglas. He was quite a guy. Yeah. Is he really? Or was he? Yeah. Yeah. He was kind of a hard ass. He ended up after the the first week of shooting, we're on the bridge and they had a rain effect going down the windshield with the rain falling and all that. They looked at rushes, which were delayed for a few days back in Hollywood. By the time they got to see the footage that had been shot, they realized they couldn't see any rain effect at all. So they fired the entire camera crew, and we started all over the next week and shot all the same scenes on the bridge. And then they finally got those dailies and they sent them back, and they didn't work for some other reason. They fired that camera crew. So 2 weeks into a $17 million, I think it was, film, they've got nothing to put on film whatsoever. So the third week, Kirk fires his son, who's the producer of the show, spent 2 years getting the Nimitz to be available. And we started with the new crew, shot the whole thing in 6 weeks. It actually was a pretty good movie. Except for the ending, where he decides not to blow the Japanese fleet out of the water. And so they go back to Norfolk, Virginia. They come back to the base in the film. And two of the people who had fallen overboard got lost overboard, Catherine Ross and James Ferrantino. Martin Sheen goes off the ship and he goes down to meet his benefactors who had commissioned him to go on this ship with Kirk and the whole complement. And it turns out to be the two people who fell overboard, only they're really bad Hollywood makeup, but supposedly 45 years later or so, or 35 years later. And it was the same two people who had fallen off, and they had, of course, known how history would unfold, so they made a lot of money and commissioned the whole trip and the whole bit. I thought it would have been much better if they had blown the Japanese fleet out of the water, and as they come back, they realized that event triggered the loss of World War II to the Germans, and so the Nimitz was then, for the next film, the sequel, on the run from the German Navy and Air Force and everything else. But they liked the Twilight Zone ending, and nobody asked me anyway, so there you go.
I live in Cheshire, which is in North Berkshire County, and I drove past Cheshire Reservoir the other day, and there was a community in little huts out on the lake. A winter score. He carves a circle pattern, scores deep through opaque ice. A hole appears, gray water puddles up. Entry for anglers, exit for prey. The frigid winter hunt is on. Lake's surface holds men, boys, shanty. Sterno ignites, cast iron pan, sizzles trout. Steam streams, then dissipates. A beer or three, flask of brandy, brilliant sun casts shadows along shore. Fish swim, feed, find exit hole. Angler keeps score. And the next one, well, I don't know if it's really about community. It's more about the community of all of us existing for a reason. So kind of maybe indirectly community. We exist for this dance. You've listened long enough. Go. Run and think for all those who do not know how. I am rejoicing knowing that you will think, not so much about our conversation, but how your conscious mind is beautiful. They all have to think. All can go bad if they falter, or all can go especially well if they think. I am listening now to my skin, my gut, my limbs. They speak to me like your consciousness. Speak about doing well, spreading kindness when so many others are infirm. Enthusiasm gets attention. Yes, and I, the enthusiast, love that we talked. You listened and all goes well. Like a well-tuned piano, violin, classical guitar. Sing, then act upon your instincts in glorious fashion through the music of life. Like a backdrop to romance, tender keys and strings relish life. Their existence depends on the quality of the performance. Love, a heart, yet a heart overflowing with love is divinity. There's always risk. Love is a song of life no matter. We exist for this dance, concerto, opera, and we mourn for those who cannot breathe it all in. Thank you.
I have been here once before, up here on stage, so it feels good to be here. That time I had everything typed out, and I was nervous. And I like getting older because it gets easier. So I want to talk about community. I was born into a community, as we all are, of one sort or another. My community had 7 of us. I happened to be the first child, doing all the first child things. But the community makes us feel safe, and it gives us a way to feel like we belong, like we're connected to those people. And from that, we're able to go out. So, of course, as you grow up, you eventually go out. I was always singing in choirs, and choirs were another way to feel connected. They were something that you had some connection to a talent or an interest, and you made beautiful music, and I loved that, and I was in the band, and there were all these ways to make connection. And when I went to college, I loved feeling, my choir was a big deal, and I loved to be in that choir, and I felt so safe and connected, a freshman in this bigger place with all these people I didn't know. But as I grew, I eventually married and created my own little family with 3 children, and they were starting to grow up, and I noticed that I wanted to bring something forth into the world. I just felt like I must have some purpose to have happen. And I realized that I hadn't been singing for a long time. So Maya Conti came to me one time and said, I heard you do stuff. Do you want to like have me coach you a little bit on something? And I said, well, yeah, that'd be great. I should stop saying I'm a singer if I don't sing. And so I said, I want to get together. I want to develop a group where I can bring songs that I like, and I loved all those standards, the Ella Fitzgerald stuff. So I spent probably 9 months and learned 3 sets of standards and got a band together and sang. And it was great. But I realized what made that work was that she was there every week, kind of, reminding me about what I was going to do and have you done that yet? And I realized that was a little community that she created, and why not give that opportunity to others? I paid her just one-on-one, and that was not inexpensive. So I got together 8 of my friends, and you weren't in the first group, you were in the second group. Anyway, got together my friends, and we met every other week, and each of us had a purpose. This group that connected us didn't have a name at that point, but we decided that each person would have a goal, a purpose. Toma, you were in the first group. That's right. So you were one of the 9 of us. And the idea was that we would have this purpose. So one woman, Jenny Clark, was in the group, and she wanted to do more painting. And Therese Atchison wanted to sing. And Toma, I can't remember what your project was. You were starting. Okay, so each of us had something. But the idea was that we were a community, and we would support one another by finding right whatever we were doing, really uplifting each of us. And that was quite an amazing group. It lasted for 4 years. We kept meeting. Nobody was really leading it. We just sort of, whoever was hosting made sure we had something to eat, and we talked. Finally, probably after that first year, the word got out, and 24 other women came. And so we started another circle, and over a few years, and then it dropped away, and then it came back in 2012, and Maya and I decided to actually create something, and it was called Walking Our Talk. And we had 24 women in that first group, and I think that maybe, Kristen, were you in that first group? Yeah, they were several, it just kept growing and growing. Now there have been 500 women in these groups. They're still going on. Kim has been a leader, a facilitator of that group. I always missed, for sure, Roz has been in the group. Jeannie has been in the group. There's so many women in the Berkshires have experienced this way of creating community for one another. Best friends have happened. But I think what feels so powerful is that it just satisfies the need to connect. We really need that. That's what community is. And it gives us, again, just like with children, of course. Meryl, you've been in so many of groups, I think 18. Was that the last count? Yeah. But how it creates a context, a community, a way of feeling safe, and then propels us on out into the world to do what we want to do. So it's an important thing for me, but I felt like it was important to speak about just the way community is built. Like, this is a community. This happens once a month. So in whatever ways, I think we're drawn to create community and drawn to create connections with one another. So I encourage you all to do that in your own life and recognize all the beauties of the connections that you have. Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Christine Belay.
And welcome.
Yes. Hello. Very happy to be here. And as Melanie stated earlier, I'm the host of the Listening Room Open Mic. And that is geared towards musicians, but all are welcome. It happens every third Wednesday of the month from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So we're trying to get it onto the radio soon. So hopefully we can do that. But I'm going to play some original music. How much time do I have?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Ugh.
We'll give you an extra 27 seconds.
Well, you said something about community, and music brings people together. It heals people. So I want to do a song that you guys can sing with me. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a little melody to sing, and I want you to sing it back to me. And then I'm gonna play my song. The song's called Boy, and in the spirit of Valentine's Day, it's a love song. It's telling the person that you're interested in that you want them to make the first move. That's what this song is about. So what I want you to sing, it's a short phrase. It's going to go, ah. Can you do that? Ah. Oh, awesome. You guys are singers. And then it's going to go down. It's going to go, ah. Okay, let's try it all together. So remember, it's He's singing too.
You missed it. He had a whole performance earlier.
So let's try it all together. So I love that he's singing with us, or she's singing with us. So that's how it's gonna go. And it's just going to go on top of this guitar like this. Yeah, join me. My turn. You better make this happen, boy. You know I've been waiting for you, boy. So don't leave me hanging, boy. Because I want you, and I know you want me too. You make me feel so good, boy. Like a man should make a woman, ooh. Boy, you give me butterflies, boy, and I just can't disguise it, boy. Here we go. And keep going. Boy, 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 boy. Hey, boy, 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 boy. 'Cause I've been waiting too long for you to sing this song. Boy, 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 boy. Okay, y'all got it. Here's the second verse. Nothing about this feels wrong. Boy, never felt something so right. Boy, so come a little bit closer, boy. Boy, 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 boy. Yeah, you better make this happen, boy. Hey, yeah, you better make this happen, boy. 'Cause I've been waiting too long to sing you this song. Here's the bridge. And nothing about this feels wrong. And nothing about this feels wrong. And nothing about this feels wrong. Here we go. Boy, 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 boy. Ah. Boy, 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 boy. Boy, 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 boy. I've been waiting too long to sing you this song. Another time, and da do da do da do do, but I do da do da do do, but I do da do da do do. Boy, boy, boy. Hey, I've been waiting too long to sing you this song. Boy, 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 boy. Wow. All right. Thank you.
A few years ago, can you hear me? A few years ago, I applied for a job as a sales associate at an upscale national brand clothing outlet. They hired me in spite of the fact that I was completely clueless about style and fashion. It was a running joke in our family that my father was a slob. He was an electrician by trade who often worked in the city streets and in manholes. His non-working clothes were not much of an improvement over his work clothes. My mother's wardrobe at home consisted of drab house dresses and well-worn sweaters, and I remember being shocked at seeing her dress up for a night out with my father once. For my first communion, my parents took me to buy my first suit. I wanted a white suit, but after explaining to me how impractical that was, I settled for a blue suit. And that experience extinguished my sense of adventure for buying clothes for a long time. When I was 10, while on vacation with my family, I ran out of clean underpants, and my grandmother insisted I wear a pair of my cousin's panties. Even though I wore trousers over them, my cousins and my siblings knew I had them on, and I was ridiculed mercilessly. As a teen, my Halloween go-to costume was a hobo. My friends and I would dress in raggedy clothes and carry old socks filled with chalk dust, which we would hit people with, just to leave a mark. In the 1970s, when I was in my 20s, I briefly broke out of my rigidity and lack of sophistication when I bought a light blue polyester leisure suit. I wore the suit only once to a disco club, but I was so embarrassed I never wore it again. Growing up, I attended Catholic school where the uniform was a white shirt, a tie, dress pants, and a blazer. In the Boy Scouts, I wore their signature khaki uniform. and I wore a gi when I studied judo. In the 1980s, I joined a New Age cult where we all wore shades of red. At the outlet store, we were required to wear black, which some of my co-workers were not happy about. It made it seem at times like we were all going to a funeral together. As a heterosexual, working-class white man, I had a very narrow idea how to dress myself. I had a fear then, perhaps not totally irrational, that wearing something different could put me into an emotionally fraught or even dangerous situation. In the fitting room, I often heard my coworkers tell customers that they looked cute. It took me a long time to use that word because cute had not previously even been in my vocabulary. Sometimes one of my coworkers would tell a customer they looked adorable, a word so charged that I found it impossible even to say. Working at the outlet certainly broadened my fashion sensibility, and constantly handling different textures of clothing was very tactile. Sometimes I organized clothing by color, which was very satisfying to me. So, in preparing for this skit, I combed my closet for a wardrobe change, and here it is.
Yeah. Hi. Well, hi. I see faces I haven't seen in a while from different communities, and that makes me happy. I'm going to sing a song, and I can feel my nervousness, but I'm just going to give a little. My mom is a composer, and years ago she wrote a musical on the life of Victoria Woodhull. And some of you might not know that Victoria Woodhull actually ran for president of the United States with Frederick Douglass as her running mate. So just to offer another image. And my mom was thinking about bringing this musical back, and I'm shaking. And as she was talking about it, I was imagining Victoria before she was stepping forward to announce her run for presidency of the United States. I was imagining her in a room thanking all the people who had brought her to that moment. And so in that discussion, this song was born. Okay, let me see if I can teach you a part of it so that you can sing the chorus. All right, so the chorus goes, I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in us, I believe in we, I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in we. Yep, let's do it one more time. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in us, I believe in we, I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in we. Okay, so I have someone to help me. All right, so here we go. He said I could when I fell down, rise back up, feet on the ground. She wrapped her arms all around. They believed in me. The love you whispered in the night, while fast asleep, embraced in light, found its way back into me. You believed in me. Here we go. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in us. I believe in we. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in we. Okay, you'll get one more time to try that out. I stand here now. No. You brought me to this moment now, and without you, there is no how. Your presence brings me strength and sight. I believe in you. I stand here now with your grace, believing in the one I face. Because of you, Lord, something's true. I believe in you, I believe in you, I believe in me. Believe it! I believe in us, I believe in we, I believe in you, I believe in me. I believe in we. Okay, one more. Join us, come together. Feel the power of we. See the power of we. Can ya hear the power? When I believe in you, I believe in me. When I believe in us, I believe in we. When I believe in you, I believe in me. I believe in we.
Hi. I haven't been here in a while, but I know I really missed this place, and tonight was really great. Let's face it, right? Yeah. And I love the poem about the fishing, ice fishing. Awesome. Anyway, so I'll sing two songs, I guess. The first song is a song I wrote in 2009. I was writing a song, and then the tsunami hit Haiti. So I said, I'll write this song with those children in mind. So now I'll sing this song for 2025. It's called Just Peace. Give me peace, give me hope, give me one star to dream on. Give me love, give me kindness, one hand to hold on to. Is it too much to ask for just a little kindness? Is it too much to ask for just a little hope? Is it too much to ask for just one hand to hold? Give me a chance, give me a start, show me all the roads to walk on. Give me comfort, give me strength when the road is long and rocky. Show me honesty, show me truth, show me the right road to travel. Is it too much to ask for just a little kindness? Is it too much to ask for just a little hope? Is it too much to ask for just one hand to hold? Give me peace, Give me hope, give me one star to dream on. Give me laughter, give me a smile, give me a shoulder to cry on. Is it too much to ask for just one hand to hold? Well, all right, well. Thank you very much. So I was asked to learn this song last month, and it's been going through my head like since I've learned it. And so see if you can recognize this tune. And I think you might be able to. I just have to remember all the words and all that. Let's see. I'm going to get a drink of water.
Hydrate.
Let's see. Rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. It snows and rains on everyone. So many things I could have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusion I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheel, the dizzy dancing way you feel, and every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You keep them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, but still somehow it's love's illusion I recall. I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud, and dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I've looked at life that way, but now my friends are acting strange. They shake their head and say I've changed. Well, something's lost but something's gained by living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, but still somehow it's life's illusion I recall. I really don't know life at all. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win or lose, and still somehow it's life's illusion I recall. I really don't know life at all. Good singing there. Well, thank you. Good singing.
Inwards, outwards.